Welcome back to the second portion of the Milwaukee Bucks on Top podcast. Obviously, Corey Moen, Evan Byrne.
Still
Evan,
doing well.
Doing well. So let's get right into it. Here's what we got today. So we got the MPJ to Milwaukee. We got DWAde's critical of Milwaukee's direction. The Bucks have high belief in the roster constructed around Giannis. Tim McMahon, critical of Milwaukee. If you don't know who that is, ESPN reporter. Giannis leaving his future up in the air. Kyle Kuzma trade rumors. And Kawhi and Royce O'Neale rumors to Milwaukee. So, first up, Evan, do you think Michael Porter Jr. of the Brooklyn Nets would be a good fit in Milwaukee?
I do. I feel like he's become an established player in the league ever since playing with the Nuggets itself, winning a championship there. So he's got that playoff and championship material. Clearly a scorer, is very capable of scoring 25 to 30 points. Again, not that he's going to average that in a game or so. Very freaky athletic. Again, great in the paint, can dunk, can still shoot. Not a good passer, but again, someone who is capable of catch and shooting as well. I feel like taller too. I don't know too much about his defense. But again, I feel like it just at this point is depending on what they would give up for him. I feel like it would be a good return either way. Again, if it's probably a Kuzma or Bobby Portis, I feel like it's kind of similar to Bobby Portis' style. So I feel like if you keep the two of them, how would it kind of flow? Or if you trade him for MPJ as well. But no, I feel pretty confident that would be a solid trade target. I feel like for the Bucks. Again, all depends on who they're giving up. You don't want to overpay it, but it would be a pretty solid return. I feel like just based off of his athletic play and again playoff history and success.
Yeah, I do tend to agree with you. I mean, I obviously I hope they wouldn't give up Giannis or anything like that.
Yeah.
But if they give up, like you said, Bobby Portis or Kuzma, I think that could kind of be a good building block to go around. Because at the end of the day, you saw the guy win a championship with the Nuggets, right? Yep. And you saw him put up big numbers in those finals, and in that postseason. And when he's not hurt, when he's healthy, that's the biggest thing with him. Is sometimes, he's not like. It's not like it's a guy who plays in like a crap ton of games. Like he's always kind of had a bit of an injury history. So that's my only concern. And my other concern is the fact that he doesn't pass a lot. Like he is like a shoot first guy.
He's known for not passing.
Yes, that hilariously known for not passing. So my biggest thing with that is, okay, if they get MPJ, it's like our other guys going to see their numbers suffer. All right, would Gary Trent see his numbers suffer? Would AJ Green see his numbers suffer? Would Kevin Porter Jr., no relation, also see his numbers suffer? So, like that would be my only concern. I have no concern with Giannis, but like, the other guys I do have a concern with because, Michael Porter Jr. is looking to get his stats up at the end of the day. Like he's looking to get his shot. He's a talented offensive player, but also, like, but also it's like, you want to make sure the team around him is good enough to where he can succeed.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it with, again, our very shooting heavy team, you're just kind of throwing in, again, another guy who wants to shoot a lot. I feel like that would highly affect AJ Green and Gary Trent the most just because they are the typical spot up shooters, which I feel like it kind of resembles what MPJ kind of wants to solidify more as, but again, someone who can also drive a lot more. But no, I feel like there's just going to be, like you said, a lot of guys who might not get as many touches or shots, especially the guys who are your shooters. But based off of consistency or not, like, does it help or does it kind of help with overshooting or, again, not shooting enough? One of those where you just never know. But if they do it, cool. If they don't do it, I'm also like, cool. this is not like a move that's like, oh my God, like I need him here. But it's also one where it's like, if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna be like, dang it, like that should have been our guy. But no, it definitely, I feel like would be helpful though down the road. More again, so for the playoff experience.
Yep, 100% agree. Next topic up. DWAde was criticizing Milwaukee's direction. He said the following: break up or stay together. I don't like the fact I don't know what's going on every 2 years. I feel like I've been hearing this on and off for the last 4 years. It's time to make a decision. Do you agree with that?
I ride with DWAde. He's in my top 3 favorite players of all time, Marquette legend. I can't disagree with it. A lot of it, again, just based off of the rumors itself. I feel like someone needs to say, if they truly aren't going to be trading Giannis, just flat out say it. So then, I mean, it's not like it's going to end. Someone will still try to twist it after the season ends or so, but either not come out and be like, we are not trading Giannis, but pretty much say like, okay, what they're doing right now pretty much states that they're not doing it. But no, it's frustrating to just see every season, every month almost, just where should Giannis go? And I feel like obviously he's picked up a lot more this season or the last few months, but no, he's not wrong. I feel like there's a change in team every year. I feel like we're not holding on to a lot of guys since 2022. I just feel like everyone's just being flipped a lot easier, and just there's been no sense of turning around or, oh, this one didn't work out again, or yep, this one's not working out either. Let's get rid of him now. And a lot of it has to do, I feel like, with their drafting history. Again, it's just, let's draft a guy so we can make sure we can trade him for a veteran who is not going to have a huge impact on the team, and then we'll just end up getting rid of him too later on. But no, I'm definitely going to agree with Dwayne Wade. There's just a lot of coaching issues, drafting issues, obviously your Giannis issues as well, and nobody has really came out and said something to stop rumors for said topic, whatever you want to insert in the blank. But no, I can't disagree with it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and again, I think it kind of goes back to the drafting history. Like, if Milwaukee literally would have kept some of these draft picks, like it would be paying dividends right now. So they wouldn't have to rely on veterans. Because no disrespect to Gary Trent, I think Gary Trent's been fine. I think Kuzma's been fine, but again, you had DiVincenzo, you had Sam Merrill. Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to understand. It's like you had good draft picks that you could have developed, but you decided not to for some reason. And the only player that really remains from that draft class is Ajax. You don't even play him.
Yep.
And he doesn't provide the same thing like Sam Merrill would, or AJ Johnson's getting playing time for the Wizards. So I'm just trying to. So there's just a huge part of me that's trying to understand. It's like, why we're drafting all these guys, but you're getting rid of them, and that's not a sustainable way to build a team. Because the more you keep coming up short year after year after year, like, I get you had the blueprint. You just blew up the blueprint after the 2023 playoffs, where it's like, this team doesn't have like enough. Like, we got to trade Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard. And I understand trading a difference-making point guard, but also understand, like, the team was fine. Like, I just don't know what more they wanted to get by, and again, forcing, and again, like someone mentioned before, like, there's nobody really left from that 2021 final team that made the finals. Like, you got rid of Chris, you got rid of Brooke, you got rid of Drew.
Yep, it's Bobby and Giannis.
That's it. I mean, you blew it up. You tried to make a run for it, but you blew it up after Jimmy Butler went off. But again, Jimmy Butler went off against anybody. That wasn't just, that wasn't unique to the Bucks. Jimmy Butler is a different animal in the playoffs. So, like, maybe if they would have, I don't know if anything would have been different had. But again, you were close against the Heat. Like, I know that sounds silly, but it's like you were close. Like, it's not like the Bucks getting blown out or anything like that. Like, you were in those games.
They had leads in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Larger leads.
again, they said close out, which is unfortunate, but still, I didn't think we need to blow it up after, but I do agree with Dwayne Wade that I think they need to pick a direction. They need to decide what they want to do and just go from there.
Yeah, it's tough seeing the Thunder trade literally Paul George. That was it for Shea and numerous draft picks. The Thunder weren't bad for a decade and all of a sudden they're good now. Like they were bad for like 2 or 3 years. Like it wasn't like oh my gosh, we're going to be horrible for the next 10, 15 years, like where I have no direction. It's like they got their point guard who was pretty good on the Clippers, got their guys, drafted a couple guys, let them develop for a few years, and boom, they're like literally unstoppable coming off their finals win. So it's the Bucks are in a spot where it's not like if they trade Giannis, they're just done for 10 years. It'd be a little different if they had their draft capital that they have kept and developed, and it'd be, a little different, but they've kind of just screwed themselves with the amount of guys that they've gotten rid of who have developed well on other teams, like Sam Merrill, DiVincenzo. They didn't draft Grayson Allen, but he's still doing fine. It's just a couple of these guys where it's, again, you had the guys and you traded them for the same players who aren't doing as well as those three were when they were with the Bucks itself. Even like Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
He's another guy who's still in the league, and you traded him for a guy who's now coaching the Lakers. That's a lot of silly trades in the last 10, 15-ish years.
Yeah. But I found this part even more funny. Next topic up, Evan. The Bucks have high belief in the roster they have constructed around Giannis.
It's just they have to just stop playing like sloppy basketball. They have a good roster. Like I can't say that they have a horrible roster. It's not like some of these guys are just aren't scoring and Giannis is averaging 35 points. You have shooters, you have tall defenders, like you have guys who are younger and faster, and they just suck. I don't know what it's. I can't just say like, yeah, AJ Green is horrible, Miles Turner is just horrible, and I can't. It's like there's at the end of the day, it's got to be on coaching at some points too, where it's sure at the end of the day, like the Bucks are the ones on the floor, the players are the ones playing, and the coaches aren't. But the coaches are the ones setting up the plays. It's different from baseball. Baseball, you have situations, but you can't just know like where the ball's going to be hit. No, it's frustrating because again, they don't have bad roster. They just can't figure it out with Giannis or without Giannis. More obviously without Giannis, just based off of what we saw the last few weeks of him being injured. But no, again, I can't hate the roster. It's just they just look lost all the time, and I just don't know what else they can do because they've gone through, I feel like, a million coaches in the last 3 seasons where it's, oh, yep, fire Doc Rivers, and now it's Bucks are back on the back on all these stupid rumors, all they're trading on now, and it's there's no winning literally on the floor and just like with their franchise choices as well.
Yeah, and again, for one thing, I don't know if the roster's bad. But I don't know if that's like the roster that they've had in years past, where it's like that roster is like a top 5 talented roster. I don't necessarily subscribe to that theory. I think in more or less this team is probably like a 7th seed roster or a 6th seed, or maybe even a play. Like I'm just looking around, and I'm just like, all right, well Miles Turner is like he's a microwave, right? He can run very hot, very cold. Bobby Porter's kind of the same thing, hot and cold guy. KPJ's talented offensive player, who resurrected his career, and Kuzma. I mean, Kuzma's been great this year. So, and again, those guys around Giannis, AJ Green, but your record are what you said. I'll say this 1,000 times. Your record is what you say it is or whatever. And I just think that Milwaukee's roster, it just leaves a lot to be desired. Because it doesn't feel like everybody there plays defense.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like the rotation Doc Rivers has really confusing. Ryan Rollins has developed. But I just don't know if I subscribe to the theory of, wow, okay, my goodness, like this should be a top 2 roster. I just don't. I don't agree with that at all. And you're kind of seeing it right now,
which is unfortunate. Again, just because, again, ceiling is probably 5. A good 6 to 8, I feel like, seeding wise. Again, it's not like, again, coming in like, yep, this is that 2 seed. There's no way they're, it's just annoying at this point, just because you want to see the success. Again, you brought all these guys back on cheaper contracts, hoping that they could turn it around, and it's just gotten significantly worse.
All right, ESPN's Tim McMahon was seemingly critical of the Milwaukee Bucks on his Hoop Collective podcast, where he said the following: "If Giannis wants out of Milwaukee, he has every right in the world to do it. But for him to just let this thing linger literally for years, and just the passive aggressiveness and the act like it's offensive to ask for a status update, come on, dude." So the status update that's being referenced is after the game last Saturday against the Bulls. ESPN's Jamal Cawley asked Giannis a question essentially where it was like, do you want to be here? And Giannis was seemingly very insulted by that question. He was like, that's not a good question to ask. It was like, just kind of went on and on about like, these are my teammates. Like, don't be disrespectful and stuff like that. So I guess, do you agree with Tim McMahon that, Giannis and the Bucks have kind of let this thing linger for years? Or are you kind of the mindset or the theory that this is kind of ESPN's reporters just kind of being like, trying to push a narrative out that like really isn't true?
I think you could agree on a little bit of both. I don't lean towards like the reporters of it, because like, again, the Bucks or Giannis could have came out many times, but Giannis has also signed multiple extending contracts in areas of his career where it's like, oh, maybe he could get out of here. But I feel like the biggest thing, like, there's been countless of games where Giannis, it's like the small things. He's traveling to the away games. He doesn't have to. He's hurt. That's not a requirement. He's doing like the typical, like, this is my city, he's got Milwaukee on it, kiss his jersey or do that or show stuff to the fans, where it's like, if I'm going to do that as a player, as like the franchise player for the last over a decade, and then to request for a trade, it'd be like, all right, that was kind of shitty. Like, you're representing the city that you play for, and then you're like, yeah, no, I want out. Again, I feel like it does go both ways, where Giannis or the team could come out and say it, or the reporters are kind of pushing it. But I think ultimately it just kind of ends more on the Bucks and Giannis of like, you going to sign an extension? You going to stay? You want to stay here? What's the plan? It's like, with the constant, it's not like this is the first time we're hearing it. It's like, oh my gosh, like, what is Giannis going to do, et cetera, et cetera. It's probably not as easy as it is to just come out and say it, but it's been multiple years. It's really been going on since like right before the bubble started, right before Giannis signed that extension, and just a lot of stuff. But yeah, year after year, you just kind of have to figure what to say in order to state like, yeah, we're going to trade him after this season, or no, I'm here to stay. And if you say you're here to stay, then they trade him. Well, then there's something else that's going on that they just didn't want to say to the public. But no, it's, from a fan side, it's really annoying. And I can't imagine what it is like with the teammates and the organization itself too. It's just super annoying, just every day, just seeing Giannis, and then just seeing these repulsive trade proposals.
Yeah, and I think in years past it was kind of like let's see if this sticks.
Yeah, let it ride for a little bit.
That's kind of what I was at, where I was like, okay, Giannis has said repeatedly, like, oh, I want to play, or, as long as the team contends, I will be here for the rest of my career. It's reaching a bit of a fever pitch now because Milwaukee's been out of the first round the past 3 years. And he said, look, if this team's out by April, we're not getting any closer to our goal. Right? And, John, and again, there's an element to it too, where it's like it's not like Milwaukee hasn't tried to put talent around him. It's just Evan. Nothing has worked. Okay, nothing has stuck together. And I'm going to throw in another thing. Sam Amick actually said that Milwaukee's being like stubborn by continuously being like, all right, we're gonna keep adding talent. We're gonna keep adding talent. We're gonna keep adding talent. And and I hate to say it, I'm of the mindset where it's like I'm fine with them wanting to try to build a winner if I thought there was something to be gained from that. But when your team is losing by 40, I will say this 1,000 times again. When your team loses by 45 to the Nets, you're not contending. I'm sorry. You're not. Okay? The contention window is closed. Bucks fans have accepted that. If they haven't, they should. You don't lose to bad teams like the Wizards and the Nets if I thought your team was good. Even in their wins, they haven't looked that impressive to me. They've even been down to like the Bulls and the Hornets to where they got to claw their way back.
Mm-hmm.
This team is not impressive. Okay? I think it's time to accept the fact that by trading draft picks, you're delaying the inevitable. You have to build your team through young talent. That's how these games are won. All right? Young talent trumps older talent every day of the week. And the problem is Milwaukee just doesn't have any younger talent to like build around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are they going to build around? Like Kevin Porter Jr.? Kevin Porter Jr. is a great player, could be a great player on a bad team. But when you're like, all right, well, Milwaukee's still got like the 2031, 2032 draft pick. Let's trade those. Why? For what? For what? You're delaying the inevitable. Look, I understand that you want to keep Giannis in Milwaukee as long as humanly possible. But I think what it's time to realize, you had a good run. That's fine. Small market team. You had a great run. Okay? Even for big market teams, this all comes to an end. Okay? Look what the Celtics had to do.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, we gotta cut a little payroll. We're not gonna be able to afford all these guys. They had to trade Porzingis and Drew Holiday because they're like, we can't afford them. Like, we can't afford to keep them. And, granted, Porzingis was a little easier because he had like he got sick last year. Like, I don't exactly know what he was diagnosed with, but he did get sick. And again, what John Horst has to realize, what the ownership has to realize, look, this is going to come to an end eventually, one way or the other. All right? Like, it just is. Like it's fine. Like, it's like we will be perfectly fine if they trade Giannis over the summer. Because at the end of the day, he gave us some good memories. It's hard to win a championship. And, as great and as happy as I was when they won that one championship, and I'm glad I was able to witness it, like, it's hard to win two. Like, it just is. You need everything to go right. And in the NBA, dude, it's hard to win. You know how hard it is to win a second championship? Like, with the way the salary cap rules are constructed right now, it's impossible. With the second apron, you can't sign some of the same guys because it just gets that much more expensive. You have to kind of do what the Thunder are doing, which is like you got to sign guys really early and to be in your contention window that way. Because, okay, say they never traded any of those guys. You think they would be able to afford like Middleton and Holiday and Lopez and all those guys? I find that hard to believe. Like, and I'm fine in saying that. I'm fine in saying, look, the Bucks were in a contention window for 7 years, and they got a championship out of it. There's nothing to be disappointed about that. None. Like, John Horst should be proud of what he's done. Now, do I think that now, look, I think the other thing that he's looking at is, all right, well, the Mavericks traded Luka Doncic last year at the trade deadline and just shocked him. I don't think he wants to do that.
No.
Like, I don't think he wants to set that precedent of, well, since the Mavs did it, like, then we should do it. No, I don't think he wants to trade Giannis at the deadline. I think that's already off the table. Like, I think the best way to do it's probably over the summer, right? Because that's where most of the trades happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like trade deadline, you're like, all right, well, the reason why that was so shocking is you don't expect a player of Luka Doncic's caliber to be traded at the deadline, right? That's reserved for like, all right, well, these are pieces that we could need for the playoffs. Like when the Bucks traded for Nikola Mirotic, those types of guys.
Mm-hmm.
Types of guys that, all right, these guys can shoot from the outside, not Luka Doncic to the Lakers. That's not what the trade deadline is reserved for. It's reserved for good role players. But, you never actually expect people of substance to actually get traded at the trade deadline, which was even more nuts.
I was like, getting the news that Josh Hader got traded at the deadline. It would completely blow up and the fan base would totally turn on the Bucks if they did it at the trade deadline. Again, the summer is so much more different, Season ends in June, July, so you got August, you got, almost 3 months of like, all right, Giannis is gone. It sucks. Let's start the new season with this team and see where it goes from there. It's February, March, and we're still with no Giannis, and our team is completely tanking. And what are we going to do now? And who knows? I think it's easier to refresh in the offseason than it is to just blow it all up. Only if the Bucks are still in that, maybe they could get a play in. But if they're just like, we're completely out of it. If they had like what the Wizards record is, I could kind of see a little more where it's like, all right, we're not going anywhere. If we're going to trade them over this summer, might as well just trade them now. But yeah, it's just so much easier to do in the summer when the season's not going on. You got time to let it sink in and all that, if it happens.
100%. All right, last topics of the day. Saw a couple new trade targets for the Bucks. Found these kind of funny. Kawhi Leonard and Royce O'Neale. Now, I've said that I don't think Kawhi Leonard would be a fit in Milwaukee. He's an older player. And who are you trading him for? Are you trading him for Giannis? Because I don't want that superstar for superstar swap.
Yeah.
Tell you that right now. I will legitimately call for everyone's job if they were to trade Giannis for Kawhi Leonard. If Kawhi Leonard, the Spurs Kawhi Leonard, that's right. Oh my God, it's a great steal. But the current version of Kawhi Leonard that is done. That would be so similar to the Ray Allen Gary Payton trade, where it's like, all right, well, Gary Payton's not going to stay in Milwaukee. This is just a half a season rental. So, so again, if Kawhi Leonard got traded to Milwaukee, it's like, dude, that was so stupid because it would be half a season. He would not stay. There was no way in hell that man staying in Milwaukee. Go from the glitz and glamour of LA to go to Milwaukee. It's like, dude,
yeah, if you don't want to be in Toronto and you still win a championship, there's no way in hell he's going to want to be in Milwaukee.
No, there's even less to do in Milwaukee. No offense, but forget. Okay, I'm just gonna say this for if Damian Lillard, who was on the West Coast essentially his whole life, didn't really want to be in Milwaukee. You think Kawhi, with this Uncle Dennis and all this other stuff, is going to be in Milwaukee? Oh hell no. Absolutely not. And plus, the only thing is he'd obviously been coached by Doc Rivers for a season or two, but still, that doesn't matter, man. He's just not going to want to be in Milwaukee. So that would be dumb. That would be so dumb. I don't even see them doing that, to be honest with you. And I think he costs too much, to be quite honest with you. I don't even think there's any way that there's no way. I don't even think they can afford him, even if they could.
Yeah, I saw a trade with him. It would be Bobby, Kuzma, Kevin Porter Jr., and that 2031 pick for him. It's
no.
Why would you want to give up Kevin Porter Jr.? It's
it's too much. That's too much. Well, the Clippers had him last year, and they traded him.
Yeah, for MarJon.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
They literally, that was bullshit. They treated Kevin Porter Jr. like a throw-in for MarJon. Trading a guy for MarJon was I don't even think he's in the league anymore. They basically that's how much they thought of Kevin Porter Jr. last year, where they were just we're not even gonna trade you for a good player. But this year you're just kind of and look how that's worked out for the Clippers.
Yeah, good throwaway trade.
That was a great. That worked out well for us. Royce O'Neale. Like
Yep.
I've said I've always been a fan of Royce O'Neale. Okay, I think he's a great defender. He can shoot a little bit, can guard the other team's best wing player. Like I would love if Milwaukee, if they could like get a throw-in guy. Royce O'Neale is perfect.
Yeah, a lot of those like more role player guys are going to be the ones that they're going to want.
Yep.
Again, we've kind of seen a few. I'm trying to find that article I just had up with some of the trade rumors, but it's just not in their mindset, I feel like, to trade for another superstar.
Yeah.
Especially with someone like Kawhi Leonard, who, again, would it be cool to have Kawhi Leonard on the team? Sure, that'd be awesome. Like, it's Kawhi Leonard, but like, do they need him? Not really.
No.
Especially with how hurt he has been in recent years, I feel like it just doesn't fit what they want. I mean, it would fit because we're always injured, but for who they'd give up, it just would not be, again, worth it for that time being. Again, these Trey Mann, Royce O'Neale, Michael Porter Jr., all like those bigger names, borderline all-star kind of type role player guys are exactly what they need. They got their superstar. That's what they're trying to do, is build around it.
Yeah, 100%. And they're giving up 4 guys. Like I hope Milwaukee doesn't give up another draft pick. Like, please do not. Like, please do not. Actually try to recoup some draft picks. Please. Dear God, please. Stop giving up draft picks. Okay? You're just delaying, like I said before, you're delaying the inevitable if you just keep giving up the 2031, 2032 draft picks. All right? You need to start doing what the Thunder are doing. Just like start stockpiling that shit in every trade that you have.
They're set for 10, 15 years.
Yeah, 100%. Like, Sam Presti is one of the smartest people on the planet. So, all right. Evan, you got anything else?
I don't. Again, they got a game against the Hornets tonight. So, and then the inevitable West Coast road trip where we got the 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock games coming this upcoming week. But Hornets again tonight.
Yep. So, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in to this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast. We'll see you guys next week.